Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the United, one faith, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, please bow your heads. Commissioner Dupnick is going to lead us in a prayer.
Difficult times. This court stands before you as caretakers of a government that you founded, and we try to operate on principles you provided. We face difficult decisions, and we come before you now asking for your hand to guide us as we make these decisions that will affect our citizens and our county's employees. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right. Do we have anybody signed up for citizens to be heard? Nobody signed up. All right, I'll move on to presentations and proclamation. And this morning, oh, I'm sorry, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Here.
Commissioner Casterline,
Here.
Commissioner Russo,
Here.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Here.
Judge Garza.
Here. And before I go further, I'm going to strike item 8 from the agenda. That's not quite ready. So number 8 is taken off. Now we got presentations and proclamation, and this morning we have a presentation from the Texas Association of Counties Risk Management Services. Y'all may come up. Good morning.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. My name is Lisa McKeag, and I'm the Risk Management Consultant for Aransas County. And today I have my whole team with me, and I will let everyone introduce themselves and their specialty that they handle for the county. We want to put our names, our faces in front of you. We thank you for being part of the risk management pool. I work mainly with Jackie's office, the auditor's office, on your coverages, and that includes your auto coverage, general liabilities, public officials, law enforcement coverage, and workers' compensation coverage. And we are glad to be here. We are a resource to you, and I will let them start introducing themselves.
Thank you.
All right, good morning. My name is Lori Floyd. I am your human resources consultant with TAC, and I've been here a couple times. I was here back in April. We did harassment training and had a great success rate there. So I am happy to assist with any kind of training, any kind of policy review, things of that nature. I've been with TAC now for 7 years, and prior to joining TAC, I was the HR director in Kaufman County. So I kind of live and breathe county government and love it. So any way that I can be of resource and value to you and the county, I am happy to do that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Joe Shevchek. I'm your risk control consultant. I do all kinds of stuff, kind of like Lori, do training, do help with policy reviews and things of that nature. Also do property surveys. They're not inspections, but safety surveys. We do claims reviews where we'll look at your workers' comp, auto and property losses and make recommendations for trainings. Can help provide access to online training through your AP safety training, where you guys can just check out training and do it on your own, or I can come do the training for you. With the sample policies, we talk about some of the things that are affecting our counties. That hazard communication program and the clearinghouse are some big ticket items that we're trying to get information out to make sure our counties are aware. And we also have a safety equipment program. You guys have $2,087 you have until the end of the month to spend. Got with Mr. Reed back here and talked to him about that as well. So
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name's Darren Jackson. I'm your law enforcement consultant with the Texas Association of Counties. I've been with them for 10 years now. Prior to that, I did 26 years with the Scurry County Sheriff's Office and was a 5-term sheriff. I'm primarily working with your sheriff and constable's office, online policies, sample policies. I do some on-site training. I've been in the sheriff's office. It's been a number of years ago. I need to get back over here and see them again. But anything law enforcement related I can do for you, I'm happy to. Also do courthouse training for civilian employees with the active threats that we see today. If we need a safety audit at the courthouse or training for your civilian employees, I'd be more than happy to do that.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brandon Armstrong. I'm the cybersecurity risk consultant. I am the newest person in TAC. My position's only been around for since March.
Very excited to have.
So I do training and awareness, policy review, kind of more information like that for the entire state. So I'm organize cybersecurity awareness training, educational review IT policies, help guide to resources that are available for free, and then in-person training as well.
And what is your background before you worked for Tech?
I work for a lot of different businesses. I worked most recently before TAC, I worked out of Boston for a managed service provider for about 35 businesses as the sole cybersecurity person.
Thank you.
Again, thank you. Our team is here to serve you any way that we can, be a resource to you, provide training, look at policies for all lines of coverage. Keep us in the back of your head. If you need anything, we're here to help you. And we appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate
Thank you,
it
Judge
so much.
Garza.
All right. And I'm going to move item number 11. It is our annual financial report. I'm going to move it so that it's next, because I believe you have things to do today. You have an appointment or something. All right.
Yes, good morning. My name is Darla Deer with Belt Harris Pahacek, and I'm here to present your annual financial report. Our firm specializes in governmental accounting. So that's basically what we focus in on. We don't do any kind of tax work, anything else, but we specialize in the governmental accounting area. I've been with the firm of more than 20 years. And at 20 years, you quit counting, right? But we've been doing this for quite a while. So we've come in, and I want to thank you, the court, for the opportunity to come and present the annual financial report. I want to thank Jackie's office for just the amount of information that we request from her office is a lot, and her office was very good to work with. So we really appreciate the work and the cooperation that we got out of the office. So it's great. So I'll basically hit the high points in the audit. We won't go over every page. I'll hit about the 4 most important pages out of the audit, but then I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. If you will flip with me, and this is going to be in your big book. I've provided 2 books. One is the annual financial report. The other is the single audit. So in the larger book, if you'll flip with me to page 5. This is your opinion page. You've received an unmodified opinion. That is the highest level of assurance that you can receive, that there are no material misstatements and all disclosures have been made in your audit. So great job on the unmodified opinion. And if you will flip with me now to page 28 and 29. We'll look at those revenues and expenditures in the general fund. If you're looking on the page 28 for total revenues for the year, $17,484,801. Down on total expenditures, $19,227,649. With the other financing sources and uses, that left you with a net change in fund balance of a use of fund balance, $1,581,964, leaving you an ending fund balance of $6,586,547. One of the things that we look at is the fund balance to expenditure ratio. we say that a minimum fund balance of about 25%, which is about 3 months of expenditures, should be the minimum amount that should be in that fund balance. You're sitting at about 34%, so you're over that minimum amount. So you're still at the healthy mark of a fund balance. If you will flip with me now, we are going to flip over to page 72 and 73 and take a look at your actual expenditures in the general fund to your budget amounts. The county's legal level of control is at the fund balance level. So on page 73, about 3/4 of the way down, you'll see the line item that says total expenditures. Your budgeted final expenditures was $20,351,916. Comparing that to those actual expenditures that we had just went over on that revenue page of the $19,227,649, gave you a positive variance of $1,124,267, which basically is saying that you came in under budgeted expenditures by that $1,124,000. So great job on staying within that budget and coming in under those budget numbers. The third most important page is this was our first year doing the audit. So one of the things that we have to do is look at picking up the prior year audit and rolling those numbers forward. We did do several restatements. That's on page 69. The biggest one, the largest one that I'm going to bring into so you can look at is going to be in that governmental activities column, which is at the full accrual level. That's at the net position, not the fund balance level that we just went over. You'll see that on the deferred inflows on the advanced tax collection, we made a $9,553,000 correction on that. That was advanced tax collections that was recognized as revenue in the prior year. And so we moved that out of that net position amount and corrected that amount. But that's the corrections that we did on the audit from the prior year.
Would you mind explaining that a little bit better for me?
Okay. So there's two sets of financials given at a governmental accounting level. So the one that I just went over previously was the fund balance level. So that is what we call the modified accrual level. So it has receivables, payables included in those numbers. And then the other set of numbers, and I'll go ahead and show you those. They're at the full accrual, and that's going to be on page 20, 21, 22, and 23. Those are the ones that are going to have all the net capital assets included in that, any long-term debt. That's also where we account for any of the advanced tax collections. So you're at a 12/31 year end, your tax collection starts in October. So any money that's collected from October to the end of December is not for the current year. That's for your next year.
Okay.
So anything that's recognized in that time period needs to be, it's for your next year financials.
That's the number that you almost like.
Yes.
More or less.
Yes.
Noted. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
That amount would have been recognized at that net position level into the revenue. And so all we did was move that back out.
Okay, thank you.
Was that amount unreasonably high, lower, about medium, or was it on target to where it should be?
On your
9 million.
well, that's a little high on as far as like doing the restatement side of it, but
Is that because of the debt? Is that because of the amount of grants and stuff that we've had out that it doesn't take that in?
no, sir. I
Section-
believe that had to do with in the prior year audit, I believe that the amount collected in between October and December was recognized as revenue instead of being deferred to the next
Back
year.
Previous year.
Right. Right. Now, that basically is the most important pages out of the audit, but y'all have already started asking me questions, so feel free to hit me with some more.
And overall, are we in good shape across the board, or are there areas that we need to be concerned with, or?
We thought everything looked really good. We worked on, we made some adjustments in the grants during receivables and the payables that we would have kind of picked up, but because it's what's submitted to the federal government and those single audits. So we would have been looking at the prior year single audit on those numbers, trying to make sure that everything was accrued correctly in the prior year, bringing that forward to what we were picking up and what will get submitted for this year. So we would have done some reconciling with that. So we made adjustments with that.
Now, how would, had we received more of the insurance or received the insurance that's coming due to us, how's that handled in the previous year's audit?
At the time that you get those insurance proceeds, they'll be recognized as revenue in the current year that you receive them.
Okay, so that will change the end, that will change your starting point at the year after, whenever we receive whatever funds we're going to receive.
So if you receive those funds in your 23 year, then they will be accounted for in your 23 year audit. You'll see those reflected in the revenue.
On your letter that accompanied this, I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Okay, on page 2, under 2, difficulties encountered in performing the audit.
Oh, on the, yes, the required auditor disclosure. Yes.
Okay. The statement was made, and I understand we went to a new auditing firm from
Yes.
the one we've had in the previous years. But the statement was made about the absence of complete and accurate information by the agreed upon time or date and or additional audit inquiries. Could you just speak to that, please?
So one of the things that we do is taking that prior year audit and moving everything forward. So we reconcile to the trial balance that we're given, and we take those numbers. So once we were trying to do those reconciliations, that's why we had to go back to the last year numbers and try to bring those forward to give a full reconciliation of how the numbers probably should have been completed in the prior year, of how we would have accounted for that. And then moving you forward to what it would be in the current year. I think that was a little bit of the timing issue of us having that reconciliation, which slowed us down a little bit this year.
Okay.
First year audit usually takes quite a bit more time, just going through, recognizing how everybody is accounting for things, looking at your trial balance so that we become familiar with your records. But I think once we got through with the reconciliation, we all felt good, and it wasn't just me reviewing it. I had 2 different partners reviewing, so that we were all going through those restatements of the different changes, because there were some big changes. So we all wanted to make sure. And so that slowed us down a couple of weeks, just making us sure that the corrections we were making, that we were all on board with those corrections.
Okay. And then, thank you for that.
Yes.
Then on page 1 of the 13 that are attached to that letter,
The
adjusting journal entries, do you have those?
yes. All right. So that they should be in the back of the pages that we.
Okay, well, I'm just looking at the information that we received prior to this meeting. So I didn't have these reports. I had, I guess, the summary. So on the page that on mine shows page 1, adjusting journal entries, journal entry number 3.
Yes. Journal entry number 3. Yes.
Okay.
On your accrued wages?
Right.
Yes. Okay, so you want me to explain that one?
Yes, please.
Okay, so at the end of at your end date at 12/31, your payroll period, we will look at the first payroll in January and see how many days in that payroll was on December. So whether, and I don't recall exactly, I don't have that work paper in front of me, but whether that was 4 or 5 days, we will give you the percentage proportion of what that payroll was, and we move those funds, those expenses back into the year that they should be. So not the whole payroll, just the portion of how many days it goes.
And then on journal entry number 5, which is on the next page, adjust pension balances. Was that the balances that were relevant to those salaries?
Those are standard entries made on everybody's audit. That goes back to your retirement pension that you have with the state. We get those monies out of TCDRS. And once we don't come up with those accrual amounts, we get those, we get your GASB statement printed from their website, and we get that from Jackie. And we look at those amounts, and then we make adjustments on what the prior year amount was to the current year amount, and we post these entries to go with those.
Okay, thank you. On journal entry number 9, the city of Rockport LEC, I'm thinking that means Law Enforcement Center. There, it's on page 4 of the.
Yes, and it's journal entry number 9.
Correct.
Yes.
There are 2 separate ones for the city of Rockport LEC. Credit and debit.
Yeah, that is what looks like what we're doing with this one is that has to do with the receivables that we would have been making sure that the county got credit for. So if you had money that was due to you from any of those entities that would have been due for your 22 year, we would have made sure that you got credit for those during your 22 year. So if you would have received something after that 22 years, so let's say that January or February that you received income in, but it wasn't for the 23 year, it would have been for your 22 year. We would, knowing that you received that money, we would have moved those funds back into your current year.
Okay. My only question is the 2 amounts are different. Is there a fee or something that is taken from that? I mean, I understand you're clearing out one account and recognizing it to another account, but the dollar amounts aren't the same.
Are we talking about the 118?
I'm talking about the 291.01 and the 228.76. Just curious. I mean, the 118 isn't the same either.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can go back and look at our work papers and give you an exact amount of why those amounts are, unless you recall.
There are we have several receivables with the city of Rockport, so it's very possible that it could have been 2 different things because they not only pay us the stuff for the law enforcement center, what this may be 2 different months. I mean, it very well be 2 different months because they go back and look at January and February.
Okay.
So they're both revenues that they're recognizing.
Thank you. And for journal entry number 33, it's on page 11. Could you just explain that, please? I know there's a small explanation up there, but could you put it in non-auditing terms?
Page 11 and which one, 33?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so at the fund balance level, in the prior year audit, there was not a receivable established in those, then kind of going back to what we had just discussed, that at the end of the year, you have a receivable that's booked, even though you may have to defer that amount. In the debt service funds, that receivable was not booked along with that deferred amount. So that's the recording of that information.
Okay, thank you. I perfectly understand that. And then the very last one.
Okay.
Journal entry 40 on page 13. I'm curious about the EDC Workforce Development Center amount. It's the
That would-
34,000.
That would have been the grant that would have been in that EDC, that EDC fund. I don't recall exactly that amount, what we were looking for in the grant part. But it's basically booking the receivable so it would have been revenue that came in after year end for a grant. And then we would have been pulling that back into the year.
Yes, ma'am. It's one of our reimbursements is what it would be. We had a few small reimbursements other than when we purchased the building, and that's what that would be.
So that was probably from GLO.
It actually is from the EDA.
EDA. Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's all.
You're welcome.
My question.
Okay.
We need a motion before we can vote this.
Yes.
I move to approve the where is that? I thought you said 11.
11. Yes, ma'am.
No, I think it's 12. I move to approve the Aransas County Annual Financial Report and single audit for the year ending December 31st, 2022, as presented by Belt Harris and Pekachek LLP Certified Public Accountants.
Second that.
Got a motion, got a second. Are there any further questions? All right.
We'd like to
Oh.
thank y'all again, and along the year, if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call. We'll be happy to help you any way we can.
And where
Thank you.
y'all located?
Thank you.
Main office is in Houston.
Don't we have to do roll call?
Yes, we're
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
sorry. Aye. All right, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Actually, Ms. Rutledge, did you want to talk? Yes, ma'am. All right, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. Do you have a motion?
I move to accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. We'll move on to item number 5.
I move to approve the Friends of Fulton Mansion report for the second quarter of 2023.
I'll second it.
Got a motion, got a second. Good morning, lady. Yeah. Oh,
Just come up and introduce yourself,
hold on up.
and you might mention some of your information for the people who are here that didn't get the report. Thank you.
Sure. So I'm Jen McCullough. I'm the Assistant Site Manager for Fulton. I haven't seen y'all too much. We've been running around. You'll notice our second quarter is blank. That's in part because we have such heavy summer visitorship that we don't do a ton in the summer. So you'll notice on the little chart that should have been included that we're anticipating those funds primarily October and December. We're excited this year because we're going to bring back and hopefully make regular an October celebration because George Fulton passed away in October. And it lets us highlight Victorian contributions to spooky season. So we're very excited to bring that back. And that's where we'll be putting about half of our advertising funds. The other half will go as traditional to our Christmas celebration, where we're going to light up the grounds of the mansion and do a Victorian Christmas.
Thank you for that. And I know last year when we were hearing the request for hotel motel tax, Mr. Lee, who was the site manager at the time, talked about some expansion of their marketing as a wedding venue, which I thought was a really great idea. Has anything been done in that regard?
Yeah, so you'll notice in our quarter one, we split that between city and county hot funds and did a big advertisement in the Knot. We've had, gosh, probably 100 and some contacts, and we've booked about 4 weddings.
Okay.
Primarily for the fall, as you've noticed, it's been a very bad summer for outdoor
Hot.
events. But yeah, so we have several in October. You'll start seeing our October weekends booked up quick.
No, I saw the ad. I just wondered what the response had been.
Yeah.
So that's good to hear. Thank you.
Yes. So yeah, I think last year we had 1. This year we've already had 2, and we've got a further 3, I believe, booked, 2 for October and 1 for September. So.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right.
Good job.
Any other questions? All right. Appreciate it,
Thank you.
ladies. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Move on to item number 6.
I move to approve the authorizing to advertise for bids to purchase a 2,000-gallon water truck.
I'll second that.
Mr. Reed, good morning.
Good morning. So I need a new water truck. I have the money in my equipment budget. So I expect to pay, I don't know, 100,000 more or less. We'll probably look at used ones as well as new ones, but anyway, that's it.
Your current one, it's completely broke down.
It needs a new engine. The cost of that, also given the condition that the old one is in, doesn't suggest that we try to fix it.
Okay.
We'd be better off just getting something else.
How old is the one, your current one?
I don't know.
Mm.
I have people that keep up with that, but fleet maintenance has told me that this one should be rehired. So that is what I'm asking.
All right. Any other questions?
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Item number 7.
I move to approve change order number 9 between Aransas County and Teal Construction, which consists of CPR 61 to delete B 3574 seat cover and paper dispenser and add B 39029, a surface mounted unit, adding an additional $444.40. CPR 63 to change light fixture for canopy by exchanging the original D2E fixture with a WAC light fixture, adding $303.60. CPR 64 to add transfer air device from room 207 and 251, adding $1,690.70. And CPR 67 to change exterior handrails from powder coated stainless steel to aluminum with clear anodized finish for a credit of $18,000. The contract sum will be decreased by $15,561.30.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second, and just so the public knows, the agenda incorrectly had the cost of Commissioner Rousseau said it correctly, but the surface mounted unit for the paper dispensers, it originally said $444. We added the 40 cents, and then the other one, the light fixture, originally said $303, and we added the 60 cents.
Sorry.
Mr. Strothman, good morning.
Good morning. These are small items that the handrails is not such a small item, but we are moving through the building now and the change orders, and these are a couple of things that have to be taken care of.
And I want to congratulate the design team working with Mr. Strothman and Mark Williams with Broadus at finding ways for us to reduce cost and still have a quality building. And the handrails is a good example of that. So thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, any other questions?
Commissioner Cheney,
I like these change orders that have credits.
I-
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. I struck 8 from the agenda. We'll move on to item number 9.
Move to approve the indigent healthcare expenditures for the fiscal year of September the 1st, 2023 through August the 31st, 2024, based on an 8% gross revenue tax levy as calculated by the Aransas County Tax Assessor Collector on State Controller Form 50-252. Ms. Cartwright.
Madam Treasurer, good morning.
The 8% of the gross tax revenue for the year is $1,270,000. That's 270 and 198. Can't even talk this morning. That's $58,957 more than was budgeted for last year at the 8%. Any questions?
We'll see how it goes with our new level.
Right,
Okay.
thanks.
Colin, is audio working? Okay. So we got to get closer to the microphones. Okay.
Yes, please.
All right. No
Commissioner
further-
Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0.
I move to approve the Aransas County Commissioners Court taking action in their August 14th, 2023 open meeting to appoint Ladd Sorensen and McDavid Incorporated, also known as GSSM or GSM Insurers, FEID number 741950429112 East Laurel, Rockport, Texas 78382 as the insurance agent for all lines of supplemental employee benefit coverage with Colonial Life. In addition, Judge Ray Garza is authorized to communicate this appointment on behalf of the Commissioners Court.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second. We have a representative from GSM here, Blake McDavid. I don't know if you have some words, but
I had a question.
Commissioner Rousseau has a question.
Come on up to the microphone, please. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Was wanting for the folks who are here or watching at home to identify what policies we offer through Colonial and then what an anticipated estimate is of the commission that we pay for those fees. And I have a high opinion of GSM in that I worked with them a number of years as the HR director, and they were very good at responding to my requests.
I'm looking real quick to make sure I get this right. So individual accident, cancer assistance, individual.
Can you identify yourself first?
Oh, Blake McDavid with GSM Insurers. I apologize. Good morning. Individual accident, cancer assistance, individual STD, critical illness, individual medical bridge, individual term life, and individual whole life. In the commission's range, it's not from the county, it's from the carrier. It's ranges anywhere from 1% to 10%.
Thank you, Mr. McDavid.
Thank you. And this is just supplemental. It's not dental, it's not vision or health, just all supplemental. All right.
Judge, I'd like to mention, congratulate your agency on being recognized in Congress for 100 years of service.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that and appreciate all the help. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, no further questions. Let's vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Move on to item number 12.
13.
Oh, I got
12,
12, the one we moved ahead.
the budget amendment.
that thing's wrong because for 12 on the agenda, it's
Numbers are skewed all the way through.
Okay.
oh,
So I move to approve budget amendment 2023-1 to the 2023 annual budget, requesting to use $11,000 out of fund balance to purchase a shade structure for the transfer station mechanic due to the excessive summer heat and for radio equipment, 2 walkie-talkies that will improve communication among staff and reduce safety risks at the transfer station property.
Second,
Got a motion, got a second.
Now, was this in the, I remember us talking about this, decided to take this out of the current budget rather than put it into the
Yes.
proposed budget. Okay, that's very good. Question?
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Let's go to the next item.
Is that the tax rate?
Tax rate.
Okay. I move to approve the 2023 tax rate of,
Judge, or I'm sorry, Commissioner, we're just proposing the tax rate. We're not adopting the tax rate. It's just to propose the tax rate.
okay, the next sentence that I had proposed, so I guess it's the wording of it.
Commissioner, you don't need to make a motion just to have the discussion. So today is just a discussion item. So,
We don't need a
They
motion.
actually do have to
Okay.
take action to propose.
oh, to propose, I'm sorry, I'm incorrect. You have to take an action to propose that number.
Okay, I move to propose. Is that the correct term?
Mm-mm, mm-mm. No.
So
Do we move to, do we just propose it then instead of making a motion?
Yes, sir. Well, you just need to make a motion to propose a tax rate to be,
I'll make a motion to propose 2023 tax rate of 0.365800 per $100. The tax rate proposed is general fund M&O of 0.276923 per $100 and general fund debt rate of 0.039815 per $100. The road and bridge proposed tax rate is 0.042572 per $100 and a flood control debt rate of 0.00649 per $100 and schedule the public hearing for Tuesday, September 5th, 2023 at 9 a.m.
I'll second that.
got a motion, got a second. Before we move on, Ms. Rutledge, you wanted to speak on this? I'm sorry, you wanted to speak on 12 as well. Sorry, I missed that.
I actually wrote that in error, so I want to speak on 13 and 14, the tax rate and the budget.
All right.
But on number 12, I approve of that expense. I think your transfer station does a great job. Regarding the tax rate,
Excuse me. You need to identify yourself. and
Christy
state your
Rutledge,
address.
1411 Dana Drive.
Thank you.
This tax rate surprised me because I read the unused or the tax rate calculation worksheet. It appears that y'all are going back for your entire increments that were left for the last 3 years. Looks like there was no increment left in 2020. So the full tax rate would have been taken then. So we got 2021 and 2022. So there was discussion that one of the increments would fall off because it's a 3-year look back, right? So the one that would fall off is where you had no increment left on the table. So I don't think it's that much of an urgency to pick up your entire increment this year because you're going to lose something. Want to correct that. I've been attending the city budget meetings and I didn't think that I needed to attend the county meetings because we had a commitment that we would have a conservative budget and that we would try to keep people in their homes. Appraisals are through the roof. And the bulk of those appraisals are coming, your new revenue is coming on the backs of existing homeowners. At the city level, the discussion has been that these are not final numbers on this tax rate calculation worksheet, that they're not certified. So I want that to be confirmed. Your tax rate calculation worksheet is dated July 31st. The city presented their first budget in the workshop on August 1st. And by August the 8th, when they approved the proposed tax rate, the revenue went up almost $600,000. There was a new tax rate calculation worksheet, and we are continued to be told that these are not final numbers, that this could change. So the indication is if that is true, and I don't know that it is, we've got somebody here that can answer that question. If these are not actually certified tax rate numbers, your tax rate calculation worksheet may go up as far as in revenue. It may change. So I was actually quite surprised to see a 4.8 cent tax increment included in this budget. I didn't see, I read back on all the notes, I listened to the audio. I didn't see a whole lot of effort across the board in reducing the amount that would raise that tax rate, keep that tax rate high. So I'm concerned that we don't have complete information. What the city of Rockport has done, and I'm going to ask my commissioner to do on the next two agenda items, and you, County Judge, is they have scheduled a special meeting where detail will be provided with updated tax numbers, updated tax roll numbers, which are supposed to come out August the 24th. And the detailed budget will be presented again, so that we can all have full transparency about what's going into this tax rate, because that's a really big ask. When you talk about keeping people in your homes, it's the tax rate that drives the what we are forced to pay. All right, my appraisal is up 84%. This is how you tax people out. You get the maximum tax rate and you get the maximum appraisal. And so it's serious. And I'm asking you all to schedule a special meeting with full detail provided to your public on your budget and your tax rate after the tax rolls are, I know you have to make a decision today because of your timelines, but you can come back and readjust this down. And you should, you must, because you've got people here that want to live here. And this is a really serious step in raising the tax rate to the max, and it needs to be justified across the board. It needs to be based on final tax numbers that are fully disclosed to the public. And your agenda packet really only has summary items. So I'll come back and speak on the budget next. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have certified numbers?
Anna, could you come to
Oh,
the
I'm sorry.
microphone, please?
The numbers are certified. They're a certified estimate. Those are the numbers that we do use. We do not calculate again. All the numbers that were in the reports do include those outstanding protests. So all those numbers are adjusted in the worksheets. Because again, we do not redo the numbers because by law, the tax code, we have to calculate our numbers by August 7th. And we either do it with the certified estimates or the certified numbers, whichever we have. And we do have certified estimates. And that's what we use.
I just have a question, and thank you for that explanation. So when you say that your certified estimate does include the protests that are still outstanding,
Yes.
They include the protests that are still outstanding at their current level?
No, we go with like the lowest. There's like estimated numbers, and we do use the lowest.
Of what that appraisal might be reduced
Correct.
to after the hearing or
Correct.
the appeal.
Yes. It's all in the calculations. We use that every year.
Okay.
That number is used every year. This year, the number was a lot higher because there is outstanding protest. The only reason that it did not get certified is you have to be at 5%. They were not, they were close, but they weren't, but they still have to certify the estimates for us tax collectors to go ahead and calculate the rates because they do by law have to be done by August 7th. And this is new for our county. And that's why everybody doesn't understand it. It is not a new thing for other counties. There's a lot of counties that don't get to certify, I guess, I don't know, but they get certified estimates just like I did. And that's what they calculate on.
You said you're using the lowest certified estimate.
But there's numbers on there and you can see the worksheet. It does include the numbers, but we use the same system. We use the same numbers every year. But that number is just a little bit higher than it used to, what it usually normally is, because the protests are usually more, there's only a few left instead of quite a few more. But we use the same method that we use every year.
Do you know how many dollars approximately a protest or?
Not off the
Or
top of
still
my
out.
head. I'm not gonna go there. I don't know without actually knowing what it is. It is on your worksheets that we did the appraisal district and I give you. And it's on towards the last page of the county one. You'll see it. There's a outstanding disputed area. That you'll be able to see that.
All right, thank you. Do we have any further discussion? I do want to mention, so last year, we just had our audit. We pulled 1.5 million out of our fund balance. This year's budget, it was budgeted to pull $3 million out of the fund balance. And I didn't know that till I took office and immediately, called my department heads and tried to save 10% of their budgets. Most are doing well, I think, right, Jackie? Most are doing pretty good on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so we're trying. This year, when we started budget talks, we hear a lot about zero-based budgeting. We've got to put in our burdens, salaries, retirement, all medical. We got to put those in. But I think the department heads did pretty well on putting needs and not wants. They did really well, and I think it's a pretty conservative budget. We did cut out a few more things, but starting off, when we first started our budget talks, with the zero-based budget, we were $4.5 million in the hole just starting off. At the rate we're going, we'll at the end of the year, if we go to the no new revenue, we will dwindle our fund balance below 2 million. And that's just irresponsible. I mean, this is a catch up year. And I think I have to propose the voter approval rate using all the unused increments. And it's not because we're going to lose them or anything. It's because I don't want to send the county into bankruptcy. And even using the voter approval rate with unused increments, we're still about 800,000 in the hole.
Yes, that's correct.
The commissioners have any other questions for me?
I would still like to see an adjustment. I hate for us to go with the very highest rate we can use. And I've been looking at this, thinking about this since we talked about it last week. I certainly understand and appreciate the fact that we do not want to be bankrupt. But I just, and I appreciate the information Ms. Rutledge brought about that there was one year that we did not have any increments that we would be leaving on the table, because I thought there was a push to be sure that we got them all in. I would like, and it's a small difference, but it's something, if we could at least go with last year's tax rate. It's not a large savings off what we're asking people to pay, but it's a little something. It will still help with our fund balance. And I just think going with the very highest tax rate, when we've seen such increases in appraisals, that's one of the reasons they have so many protests that are still outstanding, because so many people were upset about their appraisals, and I think rightfully so. I just hate for us to go with the very highest one. I'd like to see us reduce it down to at least last year's rate.
I'm fine with that, but it's something that we'll have to make it up next year. Yeah.
I think we have unprecedented growth, so that helps keep it down some. But so many people look at their house payment, their school taxes, their city taxes, NAV district taxes, and county taxes. And if you look at the inflation rate over the last couple of years, it's been quite high. And we were barely getting by. We certainly weren't getting to where we were comfortable on our fund balance at the current rate. That has changed some, and that would help out some. But this is not an unusually high rate. We've worked hard on keeping the rate down. We've made some errors, and as all political agencies do, but so do homeowners, And I think that's a fair rate, and I would not entertain going anything above or below that. The judge's original estimate.
This is a proposed rate.
Right.
We still will have the ability to lower it.
Right.
With
I'm
the
just-
proposed rate, we can always go down. We just cannot go up.
Yeah.
So we do have that ability to look at going with a little bit lower rate if we choose to go with last year's rate.
If we go with last year's rate, we will be pulling out of fund balance about 1.1 million, give or
I
take. So
believe that's about what it was. Right off the top of my head, I can't.
it'd be a little
answer, but
over $1
we-
million deficit rather than 800,000. All right, if we could go, all right. We have a motion. Discussion's done. Let's go and vote. Oh, did you have further?
Is this?
No, do we have to vote on this?
Yes, we need to vote on the
Just-
proposed tax rate.
Okay,
This does not set your tax rate. It just proposes the rate that we'll use. We can go down. We just cannot go up.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
nay.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye. Passes 4-0,
4-1.
4-1, sorry. Thank you. We have a motion for, is it item number 14? I think the numbers got messed up.
Yeah.
The next one.
I move we discuss and receive information from the public concerning any budget issues for the 2024 budget year, and that we schedule the 2024 budget public hearing for August 21st, 2023 at 8:45 a.m.
Second.
That needs to be corrected. It should still say September 5th of 2023.
All right, I
Uh,
amend
Immediately
motion.
following the tax rate public hearing.
I'm in the motion then to show the 2024 budget public hearing for September 5th. Would that be at 8:45?
Oh, ma'am, I would like to schedule it right after the public hearing for the tax rate.
Okay,
So
so
Right.
following the public hearing on the tax rate.
Yes, ma'am.
Good enough. So amended.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. Ms. Rutledge, you wanted to speak on this item too?
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners. Christy Rutledge, 1411 Dana Drive. This item is to discuss and receive information from the public concerning the budget issues. And I don't know how I'm supposed to give you information when I don't have it. The information that was presented in today's agenda packet is summaries of your funds. There's no information that I confirmed with my commissioner that was given to the public regarding your detailed budget line items. So I would like to request from whoever should give that to me, the entire budget. I go through that with the city. I'm able to download their budget, year to date, actuals, and budgeted for 10 years. Well, actually back to 2010. And that gives the public full opportunity to have input. And I've been doing this for 3 years, and we've been able to save quite a bit of money because it is those line items that builds your budget and that builds your tax rate. This is a direct effect on your citizens, and I cannot give you input on this. I have some notes, some handwritten notes, and some summary notes, and there's summary notes in the minutes, but there's no detail. So how do I know real budget cuts have been made? And I can't give you a whole lot of recommendations. I can give you what I've seen. I can tell you that David Reed made the most sense when he talked about how to treat your employees, and you treat your employees based on their merit, and you want to keep the good ones. A cost of living increase across the board sets the idea that you really don't have to perform. We're just going to give you a raise because you're a government employee. And that is not good. I also heard from the county treasurer that she feels like there's discrepancies in the salary structures. That needs to be corrected because I'm sure a large percentage of your budget is based on salaries. Now, I'm not knocking your employees. I appreciate them and I appreciate my own employees, and I worked very hard to change my budget so that I could give an adequate increase because they were underpaid. I recognize this need, but what you're doing is you're not giving us enough information to give you feedback. I'm hearing that you want to keep your fund balance up, right? I get it. $6 million, I think, is what you have right now. That's a fairly nice amount, right? You're doing fine. And we made it through Harvey, and we'll make it through whatever comes our way. You do have certain expenses that I approve of, that I've heard detail on, but I'd like to have the full budget so that I can give full input, because you have line items in here that are way underspent or not spent at all. There was one for small equipment in the sheriff's office. It's budgeted over $60,000, but historically, what I could see on the screen and take a screenshot of, it's spent at about $7,000, but it's rebudgeted again this year at over $60,000. To me, that's $50,000 increase. There's a note that says that unspent items are all the line items are reduced to actuals, but how do we know that? Because I know in my work with the city that I've been able to look at those line items, make strong, solid recommendations, which I'm not able to do today. And we've been able to find $1 million in savings. That's how we were able to budget to the no new revenue rate. Now, I understand it's overwhelming for you all to do it in this context. You've got a huge government, you got a bunch of departments, but somebody like the outside looking in, especially when I'm able to download that information on a spreadsheet, it's going to give you an outside view, a taxpayer view, because this is what you're taxing me on. You're taxing me on unspent money, and that's how you're building your reserves. I get it. You saved 10% this year, so you didn't go into your reserves. That's great.
Yep.
But this is what I told the city, and this is what I'd like to see from you all, or this is what I told my council rep. If you need to build reserves, which they do, y'all don't. If you need to build reserves, put a line item in there for that, right? For reserves. If you don't need to build reserves, which you don't, you just don't want to go into them, then you're fine. You don't need that line item. But let's not build or maintain reserves by saying, oh, well, let's budget at the highest, even leaving unspent items on at their full capacity, and then just try to save and be conservative throughout the year. That's not right, because you're budgeting on not spending our money. You're taxing us on things you don't intend to spend through the year. And so I'd like to take a look at detail unspent line items. I don't disagree with any particular thing that was suggested. I think the county attorney's office might need a new attorney. If that's what they say they need, they do a great job. Thank you all. I'm asking for the detail.
Thank you. And saving 10%'s not pulling out, that's, they budgeted 3 million to be pulled from the fund balance. So I'm just trying to reduce that a little, but yeah, okay. All right, any other questions? Comments? All right, let's vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Item number 15. Or is it 14?
Move
I
to
think it's
approve
15.
the July 2023 Auditor's monthly report.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second.
You've received the report. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item 16.
I move, excuse me, I move we approve budget line item transfers for the 2023 budget if there are any.
Second.
We have none.
Right?
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item 17.
I move to approve the accounts payable and payroll / payroll liabilities.
Second.
Motion, second.
I would like to point out some of our expenditures for the Fund 430 and 431, 435. Let me find them. Let me get back here to them. 430, which is our reimbursement funds that we get reimbursement from the different grant agencies. We are going to return $592,081 to Tatum. This was for a pickup with airport that did not get repaired. It was not repairable or not deemed to be needing repair or needing some repair. We received funds for, so we are returning those funds to Tatum.
What was that amount again, Jackie?
$592.81. It
For
was a
pickup
small
truck?
project and they gave us a lump amount and then that amount of it wasn't used for that vehicle. So we're returning that.
Seems like a high price pickup. Maybe it was
I
some other
I
kind
think
of
it was
truck.
like I don't know that it was a windshield or catalytic converter or something is what it was. It was very small. Under the Harvey projects, we have Mont McDonald, which is Cedar Bayou for $5,818.50. PGAL, which is the courthouse, some work they're doing is $636.11. And Mont McDonald, and this is a Little Bay feasibility study, was $3,942. We also have, under the GLO street projects, we've paid Mont McDonald $49,718.04 and KC Lease $191,900.
And that was for what?
That's the street projects and
That Copano Heights.
I believe it is Copano Heights. I was like, don't ask me which one it was. New Stout, we paid $313,532.87. DLF, which is doing community building, it was $180,281.78. And then for the EDA, we had the appraisal done for that, and we paid Tazador $3,950 for that. We also, under our ARPA grant, we did the fire suppression, paid for some of that. It was $8,720.85. That was for the jail as well as the courthouse here. And then we approved some drainage pipe and stuff for one of the out in Copano Heights, and it was a total of $27,873.87 for material. I believe Road and Bridge or Flood is doing the work. We just purchased the material for that one. Under our courthouse, the downtown anchor, we paid Broadus, who is our construction manager agent, $14,615.70. And Teal Construction for their July invoice was $603,156.19. There's also various investments that the treasurer has made in here, as well as our second payment, our interest payment on all of our debt service, and our venue tax. We pay the principal and interest on that one. So, and they're all included in these accounts payables.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. At this time, we'll hear reports from commissioners, elected officials, and department heads. No action will be taken. And I guess I want to start off. I finally hired a new HR director. She starts on the 28th. And I'll introduce her in 2 weeks, hopefully. Anybody got anything else? Nope. All right. We'll move on to reports about items of community interest. No items will be taken. No action will be taken. Y'all got anything? Mike, you want to talk about your hurricane thing?
Good morning. And no, we met with the city of Fulton the other night. Jim and I were speakers, Jim with Texas Division of Emergency Management, and Commissioner Dupnick, I saw you there. But we talked, it was the
Community center.
community watch
Community watch.
group, and the National Weather Service was there. And it was good to hear National Weather Service say there are a lot of factors that are going to keep hurricanes to a minimum this year in the Atlantic. The wind shear obviously is the biggest, and then the Saharan dust is also playing a factor. So I was encouraged by that. We might be able to get through our busiest month, which we're in right now, we're at the peak of the peak season. And so if we can get through that without any named storms getting into the Gulf of Mexico, I think we're doing pretty good. So, but that was really all that took place the other night. I did want to say too, with respect to airport, the Jim Jet Nielsen that wanted to make his record attempt on October 14th. I guess I probably should have checked the almanac a little closer. We're expecting a solar eclipse on that day. And so we might have a larger number of folks that come out to the airport just to do something memorable on that solar eclipse day than ordinarily. So we ordinarily might show up. So we're expecting upwards of 3,000 or 4,000 people. I'll be able to park that number of folks. We have there are law enforcement that are volunteering to be there to help direct traffic. So I look for it to be pretty smooth. I'm still waiting to see the safety plan so I can give you all my recommendation, or I can give it my recommendation and come back to you and say that that I feel like it's safe. Jim Nielsen is following the ICAS safety standards. That's the International Council for Air Shows. And they have some requirements that are in there for such things as what he's doing. And so we'll follow that, but I'll be able to come back and say that I agree with it or I don't agree. And I don't think we should move forward, but right now I think it looks good. So, and I need to see some marketing from him too. I haven't seen that yet, but I'll step on him for that a little bit.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mike.
Yes, sir.
About how many visitors have we brought into the air show and what you anticipate here at this point?
So the last one we had at Memorial Day, the fly-in, our numbers were right around 3,000 people came through the gate.
Okay.
We collected zip codes all over the state of Texas, all over the United States. There were something like 1,100 hotel nights when you add up how long the folks were staying, how many in their party. Not everybody came to town for the fly-in, but we had a lot of day trippers from Corpus make it over that just came over for that reason. So that was kind of nice to see. But so we're gonna one of the organizers that was working that with me, Cody Stewart, has taken a back seat. He stepped away. So we'll come to you with some more appropriate data or more accurate data, along with a future request for the 2024 hotel occupancy tax budget to fund the 2024 air show. So the one for December that's coming up, the city of Rockport gave us $25,000 for it. And we're hoping to turn that into 35 or 40,000 for December and really make that a really big educational expo. Aviation education, and some of that will go into hopefully go into a scholarship at the end that'll benefit a local student or multiple local students. But 2024 is when we'll be coming back to ask for the county to square away some money for us.
Well, do you see able to grow that? How many air shows or festivals you think you can handle out
We
there?
can do a couple a year, fly-ins. I'd like to see us have an actual air show. That steps it up, but there's a lot of things. When I talked about ICAS a minute ago, ICAS tells you how big of a show you can have. And so we need to get that squared away. I need to talk to an air boss about that. We have some local folks that are capable and interested in becoming air bosses or air show managers. And if we can get them to come back and give us an opinion, that'd be nice. But air shows are trickier than fly-ins. Fly-ins can be something as benign as there's a group of people that all have the same kind of plane and they travel the state every weekend. We got a group of guys that come in from West Texas. They fly Cessna Skywagons. It's a tail dragger, high wing aircraft, and they make the rounds through the state and find little airports, and they'll go spend the weekend there, and we get a nice little inject of tourism dollars that way. but then they can be something as organized as what we've done in the past with focusing on education and getting kids into aircraft or into airplanes or interested in air aviation careers. And so that's the ones you raise money for, and you do a lot of advertisement and you bring the public out. But we have little fly-ins all the time throughout the year, but they're not the kind that I would come to you and ask for permission to really open up the airport to the public and raise money for. So, yeah.
I just would like to also mention a couple of things, and thank you, Mike, for giving us that information. Cody has done a tremendous job at reintroducing the fly-ins and the air show concept to our airport, and I commend him for that. He stepped away because he was given a business opportunity he really couldn't refuse. It's going to keep him tied up for a couple of years, but he fully supports and is willing to help in any way he can. And that being said, we have a really active airport advisory board now in place, and there has already been one long-term marketing workshop conducted, and we have another one scheduled for later this week. And there is a lot of excitement on that board. So I'm looking forward to working with you.
I agree. I'm very thankful to have the board. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we don't need to go into closed session, so you have a motion to
Adjourn.
adjourn.
I'll second that.
All right.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Yay.
Yay.
Oh, my pen just broke.